What if the reason your life isn't changing is because your subconscious is still loyal to your past? Maybe you felt it, that strange silence just after a victory, the invisible weight pressing down when things begin to flow, that moment when joy approaches and your body pulls back. You want love, you want freedom, you want abundance, but something inside, tight, familiar, unspoken, says, not yet. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not broken, but you are coded. And unless that invisible code is rewritten, your reality will keep echoing the same loop over and over again. We begin here, in this silent field, where your thoughts are bright and hopeful, but your subconscious still whispers in an older tongue, a frequency woven from memories you didn't choose, from glances, silences, family patterns, cultural scripts. This is the true blueprint, the one vibrating underneath your affirmations. Because the truth is, you do not manifest what you want. You manifest what your nervous system believes is safe to receive, and your body already knows. This is not about mindset, it's about programming. And like a code buried deep in the architecture of your being, it runs the show. Your subconscious mind, that vast field below awareness, processes 95% of your daily experience. It stores not only memory, but expectation, not only belief, but permission. So when you reach for more, when you speak the words, I am ready, but your body clenches. It's not resistance. It's the invisible code protecting the system it was taught to trust. Have you ever noticed how you reach a new level and then crash? More money, then unexpected bills. More love, then a sudden disconnect. A door opens, then slams shut. That isn't sabotage. It's alignment, but not with your dreams. With your subconscious set point, your inner thermostat. That invisible code isn't cruel, it's consistent, it is loyal to your previous identity. And until it receives permission to evolve, it will continue to filter reality through the same frequency, what you've known, not what you desire. Here's the paradox. You are a powerful creator, and yet creation flows through filters. Like light through stained glass, reality appears not as it is, but as you are programmed to perceive. The vibrational field around you doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to instructions, and those instructions are encoded in the muscles, in the breath, in the tension behind your smile, in the subtle contraction when life offers more. You say, I want this, but your body says, it's not safe, and the universe listens to the body, not the mind. So how do you change the code? Not by force, not by effort, but by frequency. Because this isn't about trying harder, this is about aligning deeper. To reset the code, you must first see it. To rewrite what you attract, you must first listen to what you resist, because resistance is not rejection. Resistance is information. Let's take a breath. Can you feel right now what you're tolerating? That subtle heaviness you've gotten used to? That undercurrent of not enough that hums just beneath your goals? The way your body braces, even as your mouth says, I trust. This isn't failure. This is programming. And your subconscious is the silent author of your life. But now, you're learning to read what it's been writing all along. Some call this shadow work. Others call it neuroplasticity. We call it truth. You're not stuck. You're encoded. But code can be rewritten. And it starts not with affirmations, but with attention. Here's what most people don't realize. The subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to energy, to repetition, to embodiment, to what you feel when you speak the words. If you say, I am worthy of love, but your stomach tightens, your breath shortens, your chest closes, then your subconscious hears fear, not worth, because the body remembers what the mind denies. Your field broadcasts what your nervous system believes, and your reality follows the signal. This is why people can read every book, repeat every mantra, visualize every morning, and still not attract what they want, because the vibrational field hasn't changed, the inner code hasn't been reset, and the body, that sacred compass, still carries old coordinates. But what if those coordinates could shift? What if you could feel safe in the reality you're asking for? Because that's the secret. You don't attract what you deserve. You attract what your field allows, and your body already knows. Take a moment. Think of something you've been trying to manifest, something your soul keeps reaching for. Now feel, is there a subtle resistance? A part of you that doesn't quite believe it's possible? A vibration of doubt, or guilt, or fear? That's the threshold, not the outer goal, but the inner gate. And if you can learn to sit there, not judge, not fight, but listen, then the code begins to loosen. That is the beginning of reprogramming. This entire video and this journey is not about information, it's about transmission. Your mind will hear words, but your body, your subconscious, will feel something else. Permission to relax, to open, to allow what once felt unsafe. So if this resonates, If a part of you already knows this truth, stay with us, breathe with us, and subscribe to Manifest Your Life, because your field is ready and the code is already shifting. Coming up next, you'll discover the true mechanism behind why your life keeps returning to the same emotional set point, no matter what you do. It's not sabotage, it's the thermostat effect. And once you understand it, you'll never see your limits the same way again. In a moment, you'll hear a truth that can reset how you receive reality. There's a hidden mechanism inside you, one that doesn't care about your vision board, your journal, or how many affirmations you whisper into the night. It cares about balance, not the kind you consciously choosing, but the kind your nervous system decided was normal a long time ago. It's called your inner thermostat. And just like the device in your home, its job is simple: maintain the temperature you've unconsciously set. Even if you're freezing, even if you're burning, it keeps bringing you back to the setting it was taught to recognize as safe. Let's look closer. Imagine you've been set to 70 degrees, emotionally, financially, relationally. Then one day you get a raise, you fall in love, you finally feel seen. And suddenly, your reality spikes to 85. You should be celebrating, but something feels off. You get anxious. You start overthinking. Little mishaps show up. You self-sabotage. The relationship ends, the money disappears. What happened? Your subconscious wasn't sabotaging you. It was doing its job. It sensed a deviation from the norm, and like any thermostat, it pulled you back down to what you're used to, not what you asked for. This is not weakness, it's programming. The subconscious mind was designed to prioritize consistency over success, familiarity over fulfillment, safety over expansion, because at a primal level, the unknown equals danger, and no matter how beautiful your dream is, if it feels new, your inner system may still read it as a threat. This is why change, even positive change, often brings discomfort. It's not the new life you fear, it's the unfamiliar identity you must become to live it. Let that land. It's not the abundance you fear, it's who you must become to receive it without shrinking, because for every external upgrade there must be an internal reset, or else the system will reject it. You've seen this play out. People who win the lottery and lose everything. Couples who find deep love but push it away. Spiritual seekers who awaken only to spiral into confusion. Without a new internal thermostat setting, without a new vibrational baseline, the system pulls them back. Not because they're unworthy, but because they're not yet regulated for more. And here's where it gets subtle. Your inner thermostat is not just mental. It's vibrational. It lives in your nervous system. It's stored in your emotional field. It pulses through your breath, posture, tone of voice, and daily choices. It is the sum total of what your subconscious believes you can safely handle. Not consciously, but biologically, energetically, emotionally. So when you say, "I want more love," but your system is still calibrated for abandonment, the love may come, but your field will repel or distort it. You attract what your field allows. This is not punishment, it's feedback. And until your field, your frequency, your nervous system, your subconscious identity is updated, life will keep adjusting itself back to your old setting. But here's the beauty. You can change the setting. You can teach your body to feel safe in the new reality. You can show your nervous system that joy doesn't have to collapse, that peace can last, that love isn't dangerous. This is the essence of reprogramming. Not just thinking new thoughts, but creating a new temperature in your field and staying there long enough for your system to believe it's normal. So how do you begin? First, awareness. Notice when your system contracts after a breakthrough. Pay attention to the discomfort that comes with receiving more. Not to judge it, but to understand it. That contraction is not failure. It's recalibration. It's your body saying, "We've entered unfamiliar territory." And with compassion, you can whisper back, "Yes, and we're safe here. Let's breathe into this together." Think back to a time when something good happened, and you immediately expected it to end. Why? Whose voice was that? What moment, what past, what emotional memory taught your body that joy was fleeting? You don't have to answer with your mind, just feel, because your body already knows. And your body, not your thoughts, is what needs the reassurance. Here's a practical insight. Your subconscious resets to a new thermostat setting through two main pathways: repetition and safety, emotion and presence. When you repeat a new experience, even internally through visualization or ritual, while in a state of calm, safety, or resonance, your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. Why? Because the nervous system isn't being activated. There's no alarm going off, no panic, only familiarity, felt through embodiment. This is why simply saying, "I am wealthy," doesn't work. But walking through your day as someone who feels wealthy, with breath, with posture, with presence, begins to shift the internal thermostat. Your vibrational field is always listening, and it doesn't respond to performance. It responds to coherence. So what matters isn't the words, it's the state you inhabit when you speak them. And the more time you spend in that new state, the more your system begins to say, this is who I am now. And when identity shifts, reality follows. This realization changes everything. You're not failing to manifest, you're outgrowing an old setting. And your body, wise and patient, is simply waiting for enough repetition, enough presence, enough proof to believe it's safe to rise. So if that moved something in you, subscribe now, because this isn't just a video, it's a transmission, and you're not alone. Next, we'll explore the deepest truth behind all manifestation. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. What does it mean to become the thing you desire before it arrives? How do you shift identity vibrationally, not just mentally? That's where we're going next, and you won't want to miss what comes after this. You've heard the phrase, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. But what does that truly mean? It doesn't mean desire is powerless. It means that desire without embodiment becomes an echo, soft, distant, easily drowned out by the noise of old frequencies. Because wanting is not a signal, being is, and the universe responds to signals. Wanting says, it's out there. Embodiment says, it's here now. Wanting carries longing. Embodiment carries certainty. One vibrates in lack, the other in presence, and this is the shift that changes everything, from chasing your desires to matching their frequency, because the field doesn't give you what you chase. It mirrors what you carry. Let's look deeper. Think of yourself as a vibrational beacon, not metaphorically, literally. Your body emits electromagnetic signals based on your thoughts, emotions, and nervous system patterns. This isn't spiritual theory, it's measurable. HeartMath Institute, for instance, has shown that the heart's electromagnetic field extends several feet beyond the body, and that coherence between heart and brain waves directly influences emotional regulation and perception of reality. Translation: your field, your emotional and energetic state, is broadcasting constantly, and that broadcast determines what comes into your life, not because the universe rewards you, but because it recognizes you. You are not punished by your subconscious, you are patterned by it. And unless that pattern shifts, unless you become the version of you who lives the life you seek, the external world remains a reflection of the internal loop. This is why trying harder often fails, because you're still trying as the old version of you. Pause here, breathe, ask yourself, who am I being while I'm trying to manifest this desire? A version of me that's anxious, afraid, unworthy? That version may want the dream, but it vibrates in contradiction, and contradiction repels clarity. The field becomes static. Signals get distorted. Synchronicities miss their mark, because you don't manifest from effort. You manifest from frequency. And your frequency is not what you think, it's what you live. Your subconscious is the silent author of your life, and it writes not in words, but in repeated patterns, in how you wake up, in how you breathe when no one's watching, in the way you respond to kindness, in what you tolerate, not just from others, but from yourself. This is the script your reality reads. So the question isn't just, what do I want to attract? It's, what version of me would naturally attract that, without effort, without doubt, without collapse? And how do I become that version? Let's ground this in metaphor. Imagine you want to tune into a specific radio station, let's say 101.7 FM, but your dial is set to 88.3. You can scream what you want. You can visualize the perfect song. You can write affirmations about 101.7, but unless you adjust the frequency, the signal won't come through. Not because the song isn't playing, but because you're not attuned to it. This is manifestation. You're not creating the reality, you're tuning into it. And tuning requires one thing: alignment. So how do you align? You begin with vibrational honesty, not performance, not perfection, but presence. You ask, what frequency am I inhabiting when I think about this desire? Is it desperation, scarcity, control, or is it trust, openness, embodiment? Again, the mind might say one thing, but the body already knows, and your field broadcasts the body, not the mask. Now we move into practice. To shift your reality, you must shift your identity baseline. This doesn't mean pretending, it means rehearsing, not just mentally, but biologically. Walking like the version of you who feels abundant, breathing like the version of you who feels safe, speaking, deciding, and resting in that new embodiment, even before the external proof arrives. Because here's the secret: the external proof doesn't come before you change. It comes because you changed. Let's make this even more practical. Try this. Each morning, before checking your phone, sit for 60 seconds. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, with breath, "Today, I remember who I truly am." Then ask, if I already had what I'm trying to attract, how would I move through this day? That question calibrates your field, and every micro-action that follows becomes a vibrational vote. And votes count, not in the sky, but in your nervous system, in your energetic field, and in the electromagnetic signals that shape your world. This is not just spiritual practice, this is neurological training. Each time you choose alignment over habit, you reinforce new neural pathways, you fire new patterns, you condition the subconscious to see the new identity as home. And once that happens, your field stops chasing, it starts attracting, naturally, effortlessly, as a mirror of who you've become. So ask yourself, what would my life look like if I stopped asking for what I want and started becoming who receives it? Because the moment you become it, you no longer have to reach. It reaches you. You are no longer a seeker, you are a signal, and reality responds, not to what you say, but to what you embody. Have you ever felt this shift before? That quiet click when something within you aligned and suddenly life started to flow? Share it in the comments. That moment matters. And by voicing it, you activate it. This is where the shift begins. We go deeper into the roots of the code, because to change who you are, you must first understand how you were formed. From age 0 to 7, your subconscious blueprint was written, but by whom and how? Join us as we enter the architecture of programming. Before you became you, the one watching this video, making choices, dreaming of a new life, there was a version of you that simply absorbed, not by logic, not by language, but by energy. Between birth and the age of 7, your subconscious mind was wide open, like a sponge without a filter. No judgments, no comparisons, no boundaries, only vibration. You didn't just observe your world, you became it. You became the tone of voice in the room. You became the tension in your mother's shoulders. You became the silence between your father's words. You became the meaning behind a glance, the absence of touch, the unpredictability of emotion. Your nervous system, soft and sacred, recorded every moment, not in sentences but in frequencies. And those frequencies became your internal settings, your emotional truth, your invisible limits. They became the architecture of your subconscious identity. This architecture was not built by your adult self. It was passed down from your family, from your culture, from your lineage, from generations of people who were also surviving, adapting, tolerating, but not thriving. You inherited beliefs like genetics, some spoken, many not, and without realizing it, you began to live out stories that weren't yours. Stories like, love must be earned, money comes with suffering, my needs are too much, being seen is dangerous, peace is boring, I must stay small to be safe. None of these are your truth, but they became your programming. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't care about truth. It cares about repetition. It learns through patterns and not facts. So whatever you saw, heard, or felt enough times was absorbed as reality. And now, decades later, that early reality still shapes what you expect, receive, reject, or recreate. Not because you want it, but because your system thinks, this is familiar, this is safe, this is who we are. Let's bring this deeper. Imagine your subconscious as a home. At the center is a thermostat, we've seen that. But around it are walls, windows, and wiring. Walls built from emotional memories, windows shaped by belief systems, wiring connected to nervous responses, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. You didn't choose the blueprint, but you're living in it. And every time you try to upgrade your reality, the old structure shakes. Why? Because the foundation is still coded for survival, not expansion. But here's the truth. You are not your childhood. You are not your family's fears. You are not the tension in that room. You are not the shadow you inherited from others. You are the one who can rewrite the house. You are the architect now. You are the builder. You are the field. And you don't have to knock it all down. You just have to update the design, room by room, belief by belief, breath by breath. Let's name this clearly. Your manifestation struggles are not laziness, lack of clarity, or wrong technique. They are the byproduct of old blueprints, still active in your subconscious field. And the good news? You can rewire them, because the brain, the body, and the field are plastic, not fixed. This is called neuroplasticity, but we call it grace, because grace is what happens when you realize, I don't have to repeat what built me. I can recreate myself. Let's pause here. Think of one belief you inherited, not through words, but through atmosphere, something you feel in your body, but never chose. Maybe it's the fear of success, the guilt of asking for what you want, the shame of resting, the tension that shows up when you receive too much. These are not flaws, they are echoes. And the more you listen, the more you realize your body already knows what's ready to be reprogrammed. Here's where it gets even more powerful. You didn't just inherit beliefs, you inherited energetic signatures. Epigenetic studies show that trauma, fear, and emotional conditioning can be passed down through DNA. Your ancestors didn't just give you eye color, they gave you unspoken contracts, unresolved emotions, suppressed dreams. But you're not here to carry it all. You're here to alchemize it, to feel what they couldn't, to speak what they silenced, to choose what they were never allowed to choose. This is not just manifestation. This is ancestral healing through frequency. So when you reset your subconscious, you're not just changing your life. You're sending a new signal through time, forward to your future self, backward to those who came before you, outward to those still living in the same inherited cage. You are becoming a new blueprint, and that blueprint broadcasts a new signal. And that signal attracts new reality, not because you deserve more, but because you finally believe it's safe to receive more. Let this land. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. Awakening inside a structure that is ready to shift, not by force but by awareness, not by breaking down, but by rewriting, not by erasing your past, but by choosing your new identity as the architect of your vibrational home. In the next chapter, we'll discover the language of the body, the most direct access point to your subconscious, because long before the mind can believe a new story, the body already knows if it's true, and your body doesn't lie. What if your body has been speaking the truth all along, even when your mind was convinced of something else? What if the answers you've been seeking about why things don't shift, why success slips, why love feels too much or never enough aren't in your thoughts, but in your posture, your breath, your gut? The truth is, your body doesn't lie, because your body doesn't perform. It responds, it remembers, it reveals. Your subconscious mind isn't floating somewhere outside of you. It lives inside your biology, in your fascia, in your nervous system, in your heartbeat, in your muscles. It lives in your reactions, the ones that happen before you can think. That flutter of anxiety when money enters, that tightness when someone says, "I love you," that freeze when opportunity knocks. These are not random. They are codes, direct access points to your deeper programming. And the body is the translator. You see, the mind can lie. It can say, "I'm fine," when you're crumbling. It can say, "I trust," while the chest contracts. But the body doesn't perform belief. It reflects belief. And if you want to know what you truly believe about love, money, safety, or worth, watch what your body does when those things come close. That is your frequency. That is your field. That is your truth. Let's make this more tangible. There's a simple yet profound practice called muscle testing, a way of asking your body yes or no questions and watching how your muscles respond. Why does it work? Because your muscular system is linked to your subconscious, and when you speak a truth that aligns with your internal programming, your body stays strong. When you speak a falsehood, even a positive one, your mind wants to believe. Your muscles weaken, not because you're wrong, but because your body knows what's real. Try it now. Stand up, close your eyes, take a breath, say out loud, "I am safe to receive love." Notice your balance. Did you sway forward, backward, or stay centered? Now try. Money flows easily to me. What shifted? You're not looking for logic. You're listening for resonance. That shift, however small, is your subconscious giving feedback, not to punish you, but to show you where the code still resists. And every place that resists is a place that can be reprogrammed. You attract what your field allows, and the field doesn't listen to ideas. It listens to frequency. Your body carries that frequency, and it can become your most trusted compass. Let's go deeper. Every time you feel tension in a situation that should feel good, you're meeting an old script. Not consciously, but vibrationally. When someone gives you a compliment and you deflect it, when life slows down and you feel guilty, when pleasure arises and you numb it with distraction, that's not personality, that's embodied programming. But here's the invitation. Instead of pushing the feeling away, pause. Feel it. Let it speak. Ask your body, what are you afraid will happen if this stays? Whose belief am I carrying? What am I trying to protect? You may not hear words, but you'll feel answers. And in that feeling, there is a doorway. Because the body doesn't just carry your past, it can rewrite it. Let's reframe healing. Healing is not fixing what's broken. It's creating safety where there was once danger. It's updating the field, and the body leads the way. So the next time you notice contraction, instead of trying to override it with willpower, invite it to soften. Breathe, speak gently, move slowly. Let the new frequency arrive through embodiment, not argument, because your subconscious isn't listening to your goals, it's listening to your state. Think of your body as the garden of your identity. The soil doesn't care what seeds you wish to plant. It responds to what you water, to what you repeat, to what you feel, again and again. So if you want to change what grows in your life, start by changing how you relate to your body. Treat it like a temple, not a battlefield, like a compass, not a cage, like the sacred interface between your desire and your reality, because it is. Here's a practice to begin. Each evening, place your hand over your heart and whisper, I'm listening now. You can speak. Let the tension answer. Let the breath soften. Let the field rewire itself. Not with force, but with permission. This is how change enters. Not through breakthrough, but through gentle attunement. And when your body feels safe, your field shifts, your frequency rises, and manifestation becomes effortless. If you're ready to reprogram from the inside, the tools are here. We've designed rituals, reprogramming audios, and body-based practices that support this exact shift. They're not about performing new beliefs. They're about feeling safe enough to live them. Let your next version emerge not from striving, but from trust. You'll find the invitations in the pinned comment. Next, we explore the most powerful and overlooked moment of your day, the space between wakefulness and sleep. It is in this liminal state that your subconscious becomes most receptive, and the words you whisper there become architecture. There is a doorway you pass through every night, a soft, sacred crossing. You may not notice it, but your subconscious does. It is the moment when thought slows, when edges blur, when the world begins to dissolve, and a deeper one opens. This is the gateway of sleep, and within it, your subconscious becomes receptive, not guarded, not filtered, not analyzing, but open, like it was when you were 7 or 5 or 2. This is not metaphor, it is neurology. It is frequency. In the minutes before you fall asleep, your brain moves from the beta waves of waking life into alpha, then into theta, the same wave state children live in during their most formative years. Theta is a state of imprint. It is where the subconscious becomes sponge again, where critical thinking quiets, and suggestion sinks in like seeds into soil. This is why the words you hear just before sleep matter more than what you read all day. This is why a single sentence whispered in theta can rewire what hours of effort cannot. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to visualize perfectly. You don't even have to believe it yet. You simply need to offer your field a new signal at the right moment, because the subconscious doesn't learn through willpower. It learns through repetition and timing, and the space between wakefulness and sleep is when the gate opens. This is your chance to reset the code. Let's return to the garden. In this metaphor, your subconscious is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds, but planting is not enough. You must choose the right moment to sow them. The moment when the ground is soft, moist, open, receptive. That moment is before sleep, and again, upon waking. So here's what you can do. As you prepare for sleep tonight, turn off the noise, dim the lights, close the screens, and come back to yourself. Lie down, feel your breath, and then, gently, speak a sentence out loud. One you wish your body already believed. Not to convince, not to fix, but to plant. Try this. I am safe now. I allow abundance into my field. Love is safe to receive. My body trusts this new reality. Say it slowly. Let the vibration enter you. Let the words become frequency, not concept. And then drift. As you fall asleep, your subconscious is still listening, still receiving, still reorienting. You may not notice it right away, but with time, those words begin to take root. They become a new internal language. They soften the old code, and when repeated nightly, they become your new blueprint. This is not wishful thinking. It is how the mind works, how the body learns, how the field reconfigures. The repetition doesn't make it robotic. It makes it familiar, and familiarity is how the subconscious defines truth. Not what's best, not what's logical, but what's been heard enough times in safety. So if you offer your field the same gentle signal each night, and do so with presence, breath, and patience, eventually, the signal becomes you, and the field reorganizes to match it. You attract what your field allows, and your field listens at night. So stop falling asleep with fear in your ears, with chaos from the world, with stories that don't belong to you. Instead, turn your bed into a temple, turn your night into a ritual, turn your final thoughts into vibrational medicine. This is not a technique, it is a return to your natural state. Soft, receptive, magnetic, a being whose subconscious knows how to receive. Here's a practice. Tonight, before sleep, put in your earphones and play a gentle reprogramming track, one that whispers truths your nervous system is ready to receive. Let it wash over you. Not for control, but for nourishment. If you'd like, we've created a set of nighttime reprogramming audios, designed to bypass resistance and plant the new code where it matters most. You'll find the link in the pinned comment. You don't have to fight for change. You only need to rest into it, because reprogramming isn't only about awareness. It's about consistency. Not drama, not breakthrough, but soft repetition aligned with the body's natural rhythms. And sleep is the most sacred rhythm of all. In the next chapter, we'll return to the metaphor of the garden. You've softened the soil. You've started planting seeds. Now, we'll explore how to nurture those seeds into identity with ritual, clarity, and emotional resonance. Now that the soil is softened, now that the noise has quieted, you can begin to plant, not seeds of hope, but seeds of identity, because manifestation is not just about asking for what you want. It's about becoming the frequency of what you are ready to receive. And like any garden, this becoming is a daily ritual. Simple, subtle, sacred. Let's return to the earth. The subconscious mind is not a machine to be hacked. It is a field, a living ecosystem. It remembers what you feed it. It holds what you bury, and it grows what you repeat. So the question is not only, what do I want, but what am I planting? Over and over again, through my attention, my words, my choices, my emotions, because your thoughts may visit, but your emotions take root. You can say I am abundant all day, but if you feel small when the bill arrives, if your body clenches when someone offers to help, if your nervous system contracts when money flows in, then the soil is receiving a different message. Again, this is not failure. It's feedback. It tells you where the field is still holding old roots, and where new seeds need time, sunlight, and repetition to grow. Let's be honest. Planting new beliefs is not glamorous. It's not fireworks or instant transformation. It's not about crushing it or waking up perfectly aligned. It's about coming back again and again to the new frequency, even when the old one feels louder. That moment when you want to collapse, but you choose breath. That moment when you want to withdraw, but you stay present. That moment when the old identity knocks, and you gently say, not today. We're building something new. That is planting. That is reprogramming. Your subconscious needs two things to believe something new: repetition, emotional resonance, not fake emotion, not hype, but felt experience. So when you speak a new belief, say it slowly, with your hand on your heart, with presence in your spine, with breath in your belly. Let the words become texture, not just concept. I am allowed to receive. Life supports my expansion. My body knows the way. Say them not to convince, but to connect. You attract what your field allows, and the field allows what feels familiar and safe. So your work is to make the new feel familiar, to let your nervous system associate the new identity with peace, not pressure. Here's the truth most never tell you. Beliefs don't change through logic. They change through repetition and safety. That's the recipe. And your rituals are the practice. Create your own symbolic rituals, tiny daily anchors that affirm the new field. Here are a few ideas. Light a candle each morning and declare, today, I live as the version of me who. Write a single sentence in your journal every night that says, this is what I'm becoming. Choose a scent, an oil, a song that becomes the frequency of your new identity, and return to it daily. Use breathwork not to control but to attune, allowing the nervous system to match the energy of the life you're ready to hold. These may seem simple, but they are powerful, because your subconscious remembers repetition paired with feeling. And most importantly, be gentle. Your old beliefs were not born overnight. They came from decades of repetition, emotion, and experience. So your new ones need patience. Don't demand immediate proof. Don't expect instant transformation. Just keep planting, keep tending, and trust. The field never forgets a seed. It always grows what it's given, especially when given with love. Think of it like this. Each time you speak the new belief, you are watering a new root. Each time you embody a new frequency, you are nourishing a new branch. Each time you forgive an old version of you, you are clearing space for new life to emerge. This is the work, not glamorous but sacred, because slowly, silently, the field begins to shift, and one day, without force, you'll notice you're no longer trying to believe it. You are it. It lives in your tone, in your breath, in your posture, in your choices. You've become the tree, and the fruit arrives without effort, Share with us. What seed are you planting now? Name it in the comments, anchor it into the field. Because sometimes, speaking it aloud is the very act of rooting it deeper, and others may need to hear the seed you're planting to trust their own. In the next chapter, we explore how the subconscious learns through action, not just intention, because it's one thing to feel aligned, but what does your behavior say? How do you walk, speak, and move as the one who's already living your new timeline? This is the embodiment. This is the proof. You've planted the seed. You've watered it with words, presence, softness. Now comes the part most skip, living it. Because belief doesn't fully shift when you say it, it shifts when you become it. Your subconscious doesn't just listen to affirmations, it watches your behavior. It notices what you tolerate, what you choose, what you delay, what you prioritize. And through these micro-signals it decides, this must be who we are now. Embodiment is the proof, not to others, to your field, to your system, to the vibrational grid that keeps projecting your reality over and over again. You don't need to fake it till you make it. You need to walk in resonance, even if it's quiet, even if no one else sees it, because the field sees, the body sees, the code sees. Let's return to the idea of the subconscious as a thermostat. You can declare a new temperature. You can visualize warmth. But until your nervous system feels warm, the thermostat won't hold the new setting. Embodiment is how you regulate that warmth. It's how you stay in the new frequency. Not in crisis, not in control, but in coherence. Let's make this real. You say you want abundance, but do you breathe like someone who trusts, or like someone preparing to fight? You say you want love, but do you receive compliments, or deflect them with a nervous laugh? You say you want to be seen, but does your posture invite presence, or does it shrink to stay invisible? These are not judgments, they are mirrors, and in them, the truth is revealed. Not what you desire, but what you're currently embodying. Here's the paradox. Your subconscious doesn't change when the manifestation arrives. The manifestation arrives because the subconscious has already changed, and the change is felt in the body, in how you move through rooms, in how you answer, how are you, in how you speak to yourself when no one is listening. This is what teaches the field. It's safe now. This is who we are. We're ready. You attract what your field allows, and the field is watching your daily embodiment, so the real magic is in the mundane. It's in the breath you take before answering that email. It's in the moment you choose to rest, not out of laziness but worth. It's in saying no when the old version of you would have collapsed into yes. It's in how you walk through your kitchen, your conversations, your calendar. Because identity is not declared, it is rehearsed, and every repetition is a vote. Every aligned action is a signal. So here's your practice. Each morning, ask, what would the version of me who already has what I desire choose today? Then choose one small thing from that answer, just one. Maybe it's a slower breakfast, maybe it's standing taller in a meeting, maybe it's putting your hand on your heart and whispering, we're doing it, we're here. These micro movements reprogram far more than any vision board, because the body remembers what is lived, not what is fantasized. This is not about performance, it's about permission to start living as the version of you that already exists, vibrationally, energetically, cellularly, and as you do, reality catches up, not by force but by match. This is the law beneath all other laws. Frequency first, form follows. So check your signals, not with shame, with awareness, because awareness gives you choice, and choice is the power your subconscious needs to trust a new pattern. Here's the truth. Your system has been waiting for proof, not from the world, from you. And when you give it that proof, in the way you speak, breathe, move, pause, it says, this is home now. Let's stay here. And from that internal yeah, the external begins to mirror. This realization changes everything. If that moved something in you, subscribe now. You are not alone in this embodiment, and you were never meant to do it without reminders, without resonance. This space and this channel is a field of support. Stay with us, because what's coming next is the final step in the reset, the recode. Next, we gather all that's been revealed and synthesize it into a clear daily system. Not rules, but rituals, not effort, but energy. We're ready. Now to write a new script. Consciously, symbolically, vibrationally. The old code is no longer in charge. It may still echo, faintly, reflexively, but it no longer owns the field. Why? Because you've seen it, felt it, met it with presence instead of resistance, and now you're ready to write something new. This isn't about deleting the past. It's about giving the future a new script to follow, a vibrational one, rooted in embodiment, powered by clarity, anchored in practice. Think of this moment as a reset point. You've moved through awareness. You've softened the nervous system. You've begun to embody a new state. Now it's time to codify it, to bring structure to the signal, so your field receives not just glimpses of alignment, but consistency. Consistency is key because the subconscious doesn't change with breakthroughs, it changes with reliable rhythm. So how do we rewrite the code? Not through force, but through ritual. Let's begin with a foundational truth. Your subconscious speaks the language of symbol, sensation, repetition, emotion. So every practice that engages these four elements with softness, trust, and coherence becomes a reprogramming command. Here are 3 vibrational rituals to begin your recoding. 1. The morning mirror, reset language, symbol plus sensation. Each morning, before checking your phone, stand in front of a mirror. Place your hand over your heart, breathe, and whisper a single sentence, one that reflects your new identity. Examples: I am the one who receives with ease. My presence is enough. Abundance is natural to me. Look into your own eyes as you say it, not to convince, to recalibrate. Let your face become the reflection of your new frequency, your posture, the proof, your tone, the transmission. 2. The 7-second signal language, repetition plus emotion. Choose a sentence, a phrase that carries your current vibrational intent. Keep it short, keep it clear, let it feel good to say. Example: everything is already aligning. Set a timer or reminder 3 times a day, and when it goes off, stop everything. Just for 7 seconds. Close your eyes, place your feet on the ground, and say the phrase aloud slowly with emotion 3 times. This isn't affirmation, it's frequency anchoring, like tuning an instrument before playing. 3. The evening field closure language, coherence plus surrender. Before bed, speak to your subconscious like a friend. Sit or lie down in silence, then say, I release the noise of the day. I choose to rest in the truth of who I am. Rewire me gently tonight, then allow silence. Let sleep carry the signal inward. Let theta do its work, because as we saw before, you plant in the evening what will bloom by morning. These practices may seem small, but they are encoded with power, because the subconscious does not measure intention, it measures input, what it sees, feels, hears, and repeats. And every time you return to a new signal, you interrupt the old. 1. You declare, we're done with that, and you reinforce, this is who we are now. That's how codes change. That's how timelines shift. You attract what your field allows, and your field allows what it trusts. So let your practices become trustworthy. Let them become a rhythm of coherence, not pressure, not perfection, just presence. Because what you repeat with clarity becomes what you embody, and what you embody becomes what you receive. Let's pause here. What sentence would you write today to define the new code? Name it in the comments. Let your voice become a declaration, not for the algorithm, but for your nervous system. Because when you say it out loud, the field hears you, and your future begins to respond. If you're ready to reprogram from the inside, the tools are waiting. In the pinned comment, you'll find our curated reprogramming kits, designed to support this process. They're not here to fix you, they're here to remind you. You already know how to reset. Let this be the day you choose rhythm over resistance, signal over struggle, presence over pressure. And now, we approach the closing threshold. The final chapter is not just a conclusion. It's a realignment with clarity, the field you broadcast when all internal parts begin to resonate in harmony. Next, we'll anchor this entire journey in a singular realization. When your vibration becomes clear, your reality reorganizes itself. Join us for the final transmission. There comes a moment when everything inside of you aligns, not perfectly, but honestly. The noise quiets, the conflict fades, the craving softens, and what remains is stillness, but not empty, not passive, magnetic. This is the field of clarity. It doesn't chase, it doesn't beg, it doesn't try to convince the universe of its worth. It simply is. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of resonance. Because once your vibration stabilizes, once the signal becomes coherent, the world adjusts, not because you controlled it, but because you matched it. Reality reorganizes around frequency. Think of it like tuning a crystal bowl. Before it sings, you must strike it just right, and then it rings. Long after the hand leaves the surface, it rings, not because of force, but because of resonance. You are that bowl, and your field, once clear, will continue to send signals, even in silence. That's magnetism. You attract what your field allows, and when your field is no longer distorted by doubt, shame, guilt, or fear, what it allows is pure reflection. You become the mirror, the match, the frequency that calls forth reality. Not by demand, but by being. People feel it before you speak. Opportunities move toward you without explanation. Life becomes responsive, alive, precise, not because you're lucky, because you're clear. Clarity is not just about knowing what you want, it's about becoming a field where what you want feels at home. Can the dream land in you? Can the relationship rest in you? Can the money move through you without friction? This is clarity, not just in vision, but in vibration. When your inner field becomes a coherent signal, your outer life begins to echo it, quietly, naturally, inevitably. Let's pause here. Let your breath soften. Feel your spine. Feel the stillness beneath the words. You're not who you were at the beginning of this video. You've shifted, not because you tried, but because you remembered. You remembered your power. You remembered your field. You remembered that your subconscious, once unseen, once reactive, can become your most powerful co-creator. And now the path is yours. You carry the rituals. You carry the awareness. You carry the new code. So what will you do with it? What rhythm will you create? What truth will you embody? What signal will you send out? Not as effort, but as essence. The field is listening, and it responds not to urgency, but to clarity. Not to begging, but to being. If something opened inside you today, even quietly, follow it. Subscribe. Stay with this field. Let the next video call you forward, because this is not a one-time reset. It's a living journey. Each breath, each choice, each embodied moment writes the next chapter of your reality. So here's the final question. What would your life feel like if your vibration led the way? No more waiting, no more war with yourself, no more looping, just this moment, this frequency, this clarity. This is the real manifestation. You, aligned. If this journey has stirred something within you, revisit it. Let each block become a portal. Let each metaphor bloom again. Let the reprogramming deepen through rhythm. And when you're ready, step into the next frequency with us. The next transmission is already whispering. Your field knows the way, and the next version of you is waiting. Not far away, but just one vibration deeper. Thank you for being here. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for creating this field together. We'll see you in the next video, where the new timeline continues and the code keeps evolving, always in clarity, in presence, in truth. The magnetic field of clarity is you. Your subconscious is no longer your limit. It is your guide. Your body already knows.